Good day, viewers. This is TechMag TV News. My name is Stephanie Truter, and here are the headlines. President Kenyatta tells international community to lift sanctions against Zimbabwe. CCC aspiring councillor Maxwell Dutuma abducted. Police hunt for waterfalls murderer. In our regional news, President Uhuru Kenyatta has called on the international community to lift sanctions against Zimbabwe, saying the restrictions were hurting the Southern African nation. The president termed the sanctions as illegal and assured Zimbabwe of Kenya's continued advocacy to ensure the restrictions are lifted. President Kenyatta spoke on Wednesday afternoon at State House in Nairobi during a press briefing with his visitor Zimbabwe counterpart Emmerson Mnangagwa shortly after the two heads of state led their respective delegations in bilateral talks. During the talks, Kenyatta and Zimbabwe signed several bilateral agreements, all memoranda of understanding on political and diplomatic consultations, tourism, wildlife conservation, and civil aircraft accidents and serious incidents investigations. Others were on women empowerment and community development, youth affairs, cooperatives, and sports and recreation activities. President Kenyatta said the agreements will enable Kenya and Zimbabwe to cooperate in addressing challenges facing them, particularly in youth unemployment. In local news, President Mnangagwa has appointed Deputy Prosecutor General Nelson Mutsonziwa as the acting Prosecutor General following the recent resignation of Kumbirai Godzi on medical grounds. Chief Secretary to the President and Cabinet, Dr. Mishak Sibanda, said Mutsonziwa's appointment was with immediate effect. He was appointed first in an acting capacity in 2018 before being elevated to a substantial role in 2019, a position he had held until the time of his resignation. Godzi was one of the 10 candidates who were interviewed publicly for the esteemed post in 2018. Citizens Coalition for Change Council candidate for Highfield, West Maxwell Dutuma, was Tuesday reportedly forcibly taken by ZANU-PF youths. The party said Dutuma was assaulted by ZANU-PF thugs and his car had been hijacked while he was in Gaza land. They took him then against his will. The foreign ministers of Russia and Ukraine have arrived in Turkey for face-to-face talks set for Thursday morning, officials have said, in the first high-level contact between the two sides since Moscow invaded its ex-Soviet neighbor. Officials from Kyiv and Moscow have held several rounds of discussion in Belarus, from the meeting in the southern city of Antalya represents the first time Russia has sent a minister for talks on the crisis. His Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, has arrived for the talks, a Turkish official told AFP. The Zimbabwe Republic Police has appealed to the nation to come forward for any information that will lead to the apprehension of the person responsible for fatally shooting a woman in Waterfalls this morning. A 70-year-old woman was shot and killed by an unknown person during a robbery in Uplands this morning at around 1 a.m. The suspect has yet to be apprehended. In a statement, the ZRP invited anyone with information should come forward and bring the culprit to justice. The Zimbabwe National Army has sentenced 3 of its members to 15 years each of imprisonment after they were convicted of armed robbery, theft, and unlawful entry. The trio, Lance Corporal Ndlovu Fortune and Privates Manyanga Ratel and Masase Kanyos, who were all serving with 4 Infantry Brigade in Mashingo, committed armed robbery, unlawful entry, and theft cases in and around Mashingo between January and July 2021. The 3 pleaded guilty to the charges at the General Court Martial sitting in Bulawayo last week. In a statement yesterday, ZNA Director of Public Relations, Colonel Alpheus Makotore, said the organization will not be deterred from bringing the rogue elements to book. The Zimbabwe Energy Regulatory Authority has again raised fuel prices after a recent price review, citing the increase in international crude oil prices. In a statement published Wednesday, it states that they need to review the prices once again since the blending ratio still remains at ethanol 0. Zera said diesel will now cost 218 to a cent ZW from the 195 and 99 cents. The blend EO will go for 216 and 78 cents of the Zimbabwean dollar from 195 and 72 cents. The United States dollar price for diesel will be at $1 68 cents from $1 51. The blend has been pegged at $1 and 67 cents. The fuel price review is set to see more prices hike for basic goods and services. Zera stated that the public and operators are advised that the blending ratio still remains at EO. Operators may sell the petroleum products below the subscribed prices depending on their trading advantages and should display prices in prominent place provided by the fuel pricing regulations. However, Energy and Power Development Minister Soda Zemu has explained the frequent price to international developments that the country has no control over. He continued to add that the fuel prices have risen significantly on the global market in the wake of the Russia special military operation in Ukraine, which has affected public supply trends, as the former was the second biggest producer of petroleum products in the world. The Central Vehicle Registry is in the process of changing the driver's license metal disc to a plastic disc by end of June this year. The development was announced by the Ministry of Transport via Twitter. CVR is in the process of moving from the old metal disc to a new plastic disc. The old metal disc technology and equipment is now obsolete, read the tweet. The proposed new disc is compliant with the COMSA, EAC, and SADC tripartite region. The tweet urged the valued citizens to bear with the transition from the old to the new driver's license, as the process is expected to be completed by the end of June 2022. Malawian top flight league giants Mighty Wanderers are reportedly courting Norman Mapeza with the view of appointing the Zimbabwean gaffer as their head coach. According to a daily newspaper in the country, the Nation Wanderers have made initial contacts with Mapeza's camp, but nothing tangible has come up yet. The club also approached another Zimbabwean coach, Raman Gumbo, but suspended the negotiations. Gumbo is contracted to Botswana Premier League side Siwa Flamingos, while Mapeza is with FC Platinum in the Castle Lager Premiership. An unnamed source told the publication they have also reached out to Mapeza after they had nothing concrete thus far. And now to our tech news. Thousands of people still sleeping in long queues at National Central Registry for Passports in Harare, despite government claiming it had cleared the backlog and had given Lithuanian company Garsu Pasolis a tender last year. Since the passports are only being issued in the capital city of Harare, the company is failing to decentralize as they promised to bring the services to other provinces. This is happening despite the price of the e-passports being almost 4 times the amount of the previous booklet passports. Econet executives have distanced themselves from rumors stating that they have disconnected their network during the CC rally in Highfield in order to sabotage the proceedings. They instead made a statement that the network took on a surge of traffic, which led to the network crash since their base stations could not support the huge influx of online traffic. This has been TechMag TV News. Please share, like, and subscribe as we keep bringing you more top stories. Thank you for watching.